Hey everybody, this is Pastor Devin from Abundant Life Church, and I just quickly wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to identify lies that we wrestle with in our thoughts. We're in a series talking about winning the war in your mind. You know, there's no little devil in our mind, there's no little army figure in our mind. So how do we fight the fight or win the battle in our minds if there's no little men or women up in our minds? You know, the truth is, winning the battle or the war in our minds comes down to really discerning between what is true and what is a lie. You know, just like when we watch commercials, we have to discern what is true and what is not true. You know, when I see a commercial for Burger King and I see this big, huge, juicy, perfectly rounded burger with a perfect bun and the lettuce perfectly coming out the sides, I've never seen that burger when I walked into Burger King. I've seen a smush burger wrapped in a wrapper with ketchup and mayonnaise all messy and everywhere, right? And I just know that the commercial isn't true. I can discern, I can identify that's kind of misleading. And sometimes we need to know what is misleading in our minds, what is not true in our minds, so that we can be led by truth. Ephesians in the Bible says that there is a spiritual war taking place. That spiritual war is not against people, but it's against the principalities of this world, basically the devil and God, against good and evil. And in Ephesians chapter 6, it says that we should put on the whole armor of God so that we can stand against the schemes or the tricks or the plotting of the devil. Now again, there's a lot of different kinds of different spiritual attack and warfare that we go through as believers in Jesus. But in America today, a lot of that spiritual attack is up here in the mind. That he seeds thoughts of doubt and thoughts of lies, right, and deception in our mind, and we believe it, right? And so that's why we have to do battle in our mind. You know, Jesus talks about some of the characteristics of the devil in John chapter 8. He's talking to Pharisees who are not in love with God, Pharisees who are in love with power, don't believe that Jesus is from God. And this is what Jesus says to those Pharisees. He says, "Why can't you understand what I'm saying? It's because you can't even hear me. For you are children of your father the devil, and you love to do evil things that he does. He, the devil, was a murderer from the beginning. He has always hated the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, it is consistent with his character, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So when I tell the truth, you just naturally don't believe me." Do you hear what that says about the devil? He is the father of all lies. His character is lie, is deception. And the interesting thing he says there, it says, when I tell the truth, you don't believe me. Here's the point that I want to make. When we listen to lies, we will not listen to truth. Let me say that one more time. When we listen to lies, we won't listen to truth. And that is why it's so important for us to identify lies so we won't listen to them and ignore truth. Because if we believe a lie long enough, it will turn out to be reality in our life. I want to give you 5 real quick practical ways that we can help identify lies in our lives. Number 1, listen, whenever we hear definitive words in our mind, such as nobody, no one, never, always, every time, right? Those definitive words, most of the time those are lies. Because whenever we say, no one likes me, or you do this every time, or you always treat me this way, or nobody cares for me, I'll never win. Those definitive words. We have to right away identify and say, that's not true. Right? Because it isn't always. Sometimes it happens, but it's not always. So we have to look for those definitive words. Second thing that we can do is we can follow the thought trail. Sometimes our thoughts become very extreme, and we have to follow the trail on how we got to that extreme thought. For example, you could be having a great day at work. It could be lunchtime and you're enjoying a wonderful lunch at work. And then all of a sudden in the afternoon, someone calls you, kind of the call goes a little longer, distracts you, interrupts you in a way. And then because of that phone call, now you don't get all your work done. Now you have to work late. Now because you have to work late, you're on your way home and you get stuck in an hour-long traffic jam, right? When you get home, the kids are going crazy, or dinner's not ready, or someone spills milk all over the table. And real quickly, from lunch to about 7 o'clock at night, You now want to quit your job, you want to get divorced, and you want to give up on life, right? And you have these crazy extreme thoughts. Follow the trail, right? Because if you follow the trail, you can go back to lunchtime and be like, I wasn't thinking these thoughts at lunch. Somehow I've been deceived through the day because of my circumstances. We need to follow the trail sometimes so we can identify those thoughts that I'm thinking right now, they are lies. Another thing we can do is say our thoughts out loud. Sometimes our thoughts seem ridiculous, right? But when we think them in our brain, they seem completely normal. Just say it out loud, right? I am thinking the thought that my wife doesn't love me, right? I mean, when I say that out loud, that's ridiculous. Yet I can think it in my head for a long time, right? This person, Billy doesn't care about me at all. Could I ever imagine Billy calling me up and saying, hey, Devin, I don't care about you at all, right? It's ridiculous. It's a lie. Yet when it stays trapped in the brain, it seems reasonable. So just say it out loud. If you can't say it out loud, journal the thought out loud, and then you can identify whether it's truth or a lie. Fourth thing you can do is you can find someone you trust and you can share your thought with them. You can go to a friend and say, listen, I need you to be objective for me. I need you to speak to me because I want to share some thoughts and I want you to tell me the truth. Are they true or are they a lie? It says in Proverbs, chapter 27, it says, wounds of a sincere friend are better than many kisses from an enemy. Wounds of a sincere friend are better than kisses from an enemy. And that's how it must be with our friends. We need to have a good friend that will tell us the truth whether we want to hear it or not. And that friend of yours who is a good friend, you need to say, can I just share my thoughts and can you help me to identify what is true and what is not true? And lastly, fifth thing you can do is you can start practicing by always trying to speak truth. We live in a culture where sarcasm is very popular. We do this in our house a lot. We're very sarcastic. And more recently, I've said, we need to stop being sarcastic because I want my words to always be words of truth, not words of sarcasm, not words that are false. So be careful even the words you say, even in jest, because those thoughts and saying things that aren't true are going to get in your heart and get in your mind. Well, listen, I hope these couple things have been encouraging to you. I would just encourage you to just take some time this week to just write out some of your different thoughts. Do a thought audit throughout the week. These are the good thoughts. These are the bad thoughts. These are the ugly thoughts. Get them out on paper and then sit down and have a quiet moment and identify which thoughts are true and which thoughts are a lie. Again, Pastor Devin from Abundant Life Church, I hope this little message was encouraging to you today. God bless you.